Okay. What are some of the biggest differences in the game of football from when you played in the NFL?
Well, it was a lot of years. I'm like a old relic. They call us old school guys. And we kind of played for the love of the game.
What up guys, it's your boy EG, back for another video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content. Now when we talk about the greatest running backs of all time, some obvious names come up. We got Walter Payton, Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, the list goes on and on. But here, right now, we're talking about the OG. Jim Brown was a man amongst boys back in his time. His strength, size, and skill was just unmatched. And he just had this weird thing about him where he just didn't know how to go down. He was around 6'2", 230, and it took more than just one man to tackle him. Brown lived by the words, "Make sure anyone who tackles you remembers how much it hurts." And oh, they did. Everyone within a mile of that football field knew exactly who was getting the ball. But yet, they still couldn't stop him. Brown led the league in rushing yards every year but one, and retired with over 12,000 yards rushing to go along with 106 touchdowns. He did all this while averaging an insane 5.2 yards per carry. The crazy part is, those stats only came in 106 career games. Brown had over 1,200 yards in 7 out of his 9 seasons. But wait a minute. There wasn't even 16 game seasons back then. His first 4 seasons there was only 12, and his last 5, only 14. He averaged an amazing 104 yards per game for his career. For his entire career, an NFL record that will be hard to ever top. These stats are even more impressive knowing that he never missed a start in his 9 seasons, an Iron Man, even with the constant hits and workload that he had on his body. Jim Brown was such a huge part of Cleveland history. You know what? It probably has to do with the 52-year gap of a major sports championship after the Browns won it all in 1964. It took a whole 52 years of letdowns until LeBron came back to the Cavs and ended the drought in 2016, getting the city of Cleveland another championship they wanted so bad. A few months after that, the Cleveland Browns unveiled a bronze statue of the legendary Jim Brown. Coincidence? Who knows? It was a long time coming, most people said. Brown is also a legend to anyone associated with Syracuse University. Not only was he a football star, but he also played basketball, track, and lacrosse while attending the university. Oh, and speaking of lacrosse, it is very overlooked that Jim Brown was not only an excellent lacrosse player, but is also inducted in the Lacrosse Hall of Fame. Jim Brown was considered one of the best lacrosse players of all time, and was quoted saying that he considered himself a better lacrosse player than a football player at one point. Talk about a multi-sport athlete, he's in 2 Hall of Fames. If you consider lacrosse a major sport or not, that's for you to decide, but you can't ignore his all-around athletic ability at the highest level. Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. Jim Brown's off the field and post-NFL life have been very controversial, and that's a long story for another time. But when it comes to the question, who is the greatest NFL running back of all time? There shouldn't be one.